My name is Meagan Longoria, and I'm a consultant at Denny Cherry & Associates Consulting. I'm also a Microsoft Data Platform MVP, a blogger, author, technical editor, speaker, and trainer. That's all to say that I enjoy sharing my knowledge with others. While I present on a variety of topics, one of my favorite topics is accessible design. How can I design this Power BI report so that people with a range of abilities to see, type, click a mouse, or remember information can use it with as little friction as possible? There's no way to make a report that is perfectly usable for everyone at the same time, but there are some proven ways to make your report more usable for more people. And what many people don't realize is that a lot of rather small changes in their design can have big impacts as far as making your reports easier to use. This is an interesting topic because it requires you to understand who your audience is and will be in the future, and what you want them to learn from your report. I don't see a distinction between usable design and accessible design. I see accessibility as one important aspect of design rather than a separate compliance issue to be addressed later, if at all. Accessibility is difficult because it requires empathy. We often start out designing for ourselves, and while that's a fine place to start, we need to recognize that not everyone works or consumes information the same way and make an effort to learn how things work for them. A lot of the reports you see out in the wild, whether they come from consultants, visual designers, or tech companies, aren't even doing the bare minimum to try to be accessible. But I want the reports I design to work not only for me, but for someone with aging eyes who is looking at my report late at night, or someone with color vision deficiency, or even someone who uses a screen reader. We know there is an employment gap for people with disabilities compared to those without. I want to do my part not to create barriers for them. Analytics has become so important in organizations that we can't just say that someone doesn't need data and the resulting insights. There's a lot of talk about democratizing data by getting it out to everyone, but just making it available isn't all there is to it. If you make visuals to identify and explain trends, that insight needs to be available to everyone as well. So how do we address that? We know that smart usage of color contrast helps a lot to make the important things stand out and interactive design more intuitive. We can set tab order, which is also called reading order in other tools, so that people who navigate reports using a keyboard or screen reader get a better, more productive experience. We can also make sure that we don't use unnecessary acronyms and jargon, and that we provide explanations where appropriate so someone isn't lost on the subject matter of our reports. I've lost count of the number of times that people with color vision deficiency, more commonly called color blindness, have told me about getting reports full of KPIs or tables where status is only communicated with color. The reds and greens all look alike to them. So what may look like a quick scan of a table to the report creator became a stressful mess for the report consumer. This could be avoided with a different design. First, I would ask if you really need to highlight that a status is good. Is there some action to be taken there? Or do you just need to draw attention to the bad so that it can be addressed? If you do need to indicate both statuses, you could use different symbols in addition to the color. Or switch to a blue and orange scheme instead, which usually presents fewer issues for those with color vision deficiency. We can treat accessibility needs like a design constraint, something that must be accommodated in our design instead of some annoying thing after the fact. And if we build accessible design habits, we won't have a situation where a new manager or client comes on board and we have to update hundreds of reports in a hurry to make them usable for them. Although I started learning accessible design in regards to data visualization, I then turned my focus to accessible design of presentations. Many of the same principles apply. We want to craft our presentations so that they're clear and engaging for our audience. So I teach people how to design presentations with appropriate content, formatted to maximize communication and information retention. I cover presentation delivery environment, slide design, handouts, and respect for your audience's experiences. We've likely all been to that presentation where the font in the demo was too small to read, or the PowerPoint template someone used had a gradient in the middle that resulted in the text not standing out from the background. It's rather annoying in a conference session when there aren't enough microphones for each speaker. And despite people saying, "It's okay, I'm loud," it's really not. You pronounce things differently when you yell, and it's not as easy to understand. At a lot of the Microsoft data conferences, we're asked to make our slides available for download. But is a PDF version of your presentation really the best thing to distribute to your audience? Or should you design a separate handout? These are the topics I address in my presentation design session. I hope you'll join me for either session to learn how your design choices impact your audience and what you can do to improve your design to better meet your audience's needs.